The plan was simple, but perhaps a little too ambitious. At a recent Rocky Mountain Automotive press drive in Winter Park, Nathan and I had the chance to compare 3 cars for a classic TFL mashup review. The BMW M2, the Golf R, and, yes, the Subaru STI. Nathan and I drove all 3 cars back to back, and we produced a classic TFL mashup review. But when we got back to the office, we found out that the video file for the BMW M2 had been corrupted. So unfortunately, here's only 2 parts of the 3-part review that we had planned to put together, but nevertheless, coming up right now, we finally drive and review the Subaru STI. All right, we are in the Forbidden Fruit, guys. And look, it's a very similar layout, right? 6-speed?
Yeah, 6-speed?
Yeah.
All right, it's been a while.
Of course, it's turbocharged.
Yes,
Turbocharged. We got 2 turbocharged vehicles here. A little different engine layout.
Boxer versus 6.
Yeah.
Straight 6.
Versus a straight 6. All-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. And let's look at the price. That one I believe was over $50,000. This one is $39,790.
I still say it's a bargain.
So
from what little I've driven it.
17 on the highway, 23. I'm sorry, 17 in the city, 23 on the highway, 19 combined.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the throws on this are incredibly short.
Yeah.
They're solid, but the BMW is a little bit more. It's in gear. You know what I mean? This one is really short, which is great for quick shifting, but it's a very different feel.
Yeah. You know, this one feels a lot less substantial, right?
It's an Impreza.
It's over $10,000 difference, more than that.
More than that.
Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, you know, there's cheaper plastics. It's but it's not cheap by any means.
Actually, you know what though? One thing I'm very happy about, they have padded section of the door up here, so your elbow doesn't get raw from hard plastic. That's nice.
And the ride is good, actually.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah. How about the steering feel?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Now, we haven't had too many opportunities to drive new Subarus, and we're hoping that'll change. But the bottom line is, at least for now, this car is very similar to the one that was introduced a few years ago. It still has the unequal 8 headers, so it still has that unique sound. They no longer have that on the smaller 2-liter, which is in the regular WRX. And a lot of people will say, well, the better bargain is the WRX. I tend to agree, because performance-wise, they're really close.
Yeah, it's got the new engine. This has the old STI engine. Yeah, that one has a new, basically brand new engine in it. And it puts out very similar power. Not quite as much as this, but close.
Relatively close, but this sounds like this.
And of course, this one does not, I believe, does it come with a CVT? The WRX does.
No, the WRX does.
But this one does not.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people there are some people out there who can say, hey, you know what, it works. And it does. I was actually impressed about the fact that it can handle that much power. But at the end of the day, a lot of sports guys are saying, we'd rather have a dual clutch or whatever. Once again, Subaru has limited means. It's a small company. So they have to stick with what they've made, and they are making substantial gains with CVTs.
Dude, I'm not going to make any excuses for them. You know,
it's not an excuse, but it's the truth.
They've got no competition right now because Evo went away.
That's true.
So the only competition really is the new Focus RS, which we'll be testing, by the way, on the track. So
I am so excited about that.
We're going to have everything but this car at the track, unfortunately. At least we have it here. Yeah, so how's the brake feel?
Brake is so great.
Okay.
Yeah, steering, I love. It communicates. It's not like a Porsche, right? But it definitely has just enough to tell you, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how much weight's being loaded up on the front end as you're doing it. I like that a lot.
And of course, the nice thing about this is it's all-wheel drive, so it's very neutral. But the BMW is also very neutral, right? Until you get the tail end out, and then it's very controllable.
Oh God, the BMW just didn't even mind. I didn't even realize the tail was out until I found it. I felt it snap back. This, I mean, you can drift it around a corner if you're on dirt pretty easily.
You know, I gotta tell you, it's a shame that Subaru doesn't give us these cars to review, because they're really good, and we have a huge audience of fans, and it's a shame because I think we can do this car justice on the track. I think
Oh yeah.
The Outback Justice Off-Road.
With a professional driver who understands how to make the car work at its best, and is also safe and certified and everything else. You know, the thing is that our backyard is the Rocky Mountains. Snow, low traction situations, and we have a track that we use for testing. All of those elements are perfect for this vehicle and for the WRX and whatever they build in the future. So hopefully we'll be able to work it out and finally start getting some cars again. But as it is right now, driving this car, I can tell you a couple things. The WRX, the baby brother to this, is a little bit better on the streets. This is definitely tighter with the springs.
Yeah, it's sportier.
Yeah, it is. Has a sportier ride, and
it doesn't beat you up.
Not really. It's not too bad.
No.
It's, if you want something that's smoother, consider a GTI. It has a little bit more of a sophisticated ride, I'd say.
More adult.
Yes. This, altogether though, is an easy car to drive. My best friend has one of these. They're just really, really easy to drive, and easy to drive hard.
You know, my bottom line on both these cars, okay, if I had to pick, let's start with that. If you had to pick, and if money were no object, which car would you take?
What do you mean? This one over the
M2?
Oh, the M2, God, yes.
Yeah, I would take the M2.
Oh,
as well.
there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, guys, I mean, we're old men. I mean, you point that out often. Well, he's old, but I mean, the point is that we've been around these cars a lot, so we understand, you know, what is something that's a little bit more gratifying for a day-to-day thing versus what's gratifying for one day. If I had the need for a track car, this would definitely be a possibility. I love all-wheel drive.
Well, here's my bottom line. Both cars make you feel special when you're behind the wheel, right? They're both those kinds of cars that when you park them, you walk away and you look behind you over your shoulder and you get a huge smile on your face because you see those quadruple exhausts poking out, and you know you're driving something that isn't an everyday commuter. You're living life. And so for that reason, I think both of these cars are great. This one, of course, is, I think, ultimately more tunable. I'm sure the BMW is tunable too, but this has a whole tuning community. There's
a big community
built around it.
One of the things I don't like, and I forgot about this, is the giant tail in the back. I know some of you guys dig that. I'm not a big spoiler fan to begin with, and this thing is a massive wing, and it does cut across your rear view mirror.
Yeah.
I think the styling in the BMW takes slightly over this. Although I like the new front ends that they are using, and they've been using for a little while.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of that boy racer feel.
Big time.
Yeah, and that's why the WRX may be a smarter option for those of you who aren't necessarily going to go out and race it. But you know, both of them make you feel happy, and both of them put a huge smile on my face. How about you?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. This is a great car.
All right, well, thanks for watching, guys, and remember, check out TFL Car, TFL Truck, TFL Now, and Subaru. Give us this car. Let us put it on the track. I think it could certainly equal the BMW, but we'll never know.
I have a $5 bill in my pocket, and it will blindly go to whoever from Subaru gives us this vehicle.
You know what? I'll double that.
You'll double it?
Yeah.
$10, baby. $10. I guess we got to get back and be adults again, huh?
Yeah, give it to somebody else.
Shame, because this thing is ready to go. Later.
Bye.
This is a 2016 Golf Sport Wagon TSI. Has the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which I really like. This one puts out 170 horsepower. So what we're going to try to do is a 0 to 60 run, and by doing it, we'll be able to compare it directly with the sports wagon we drove just under a year ago, which had the turbo diesel engine. That also had the dual clutch transmission. So this one has a manual 5-speed, not 6-speed, 5-speed transmission.